So you saw the thumbnail, you know exactly what this is, but this is how it shows up on a pallet. It says right there, Hawk DLX. There was a little bit more stickerage on it or labeling that said that it was a 250cc. A couple of things I noticed right off the bat is this headlight is different. It looks like it has a projector in it, which is good because I thought it was gonna be a halogen and I ordered an aftermarket one. The display looks like a digital display versus the one with the analog gauge and then a side digital thing. So this might be a newer model, kind of interesting. The whole front cowl area is different. It still has the inverted shocks. I was expecting that. The wheels are polished. I didn't know it was going to be like that. Also, they're not cast. They're less likely to crack on potholes. The engine looks like better quality than I was expecting. There's a crankcase breather there, just kind of hanging. Let's check this side and make sure they actually sent me the fuel injected one. Let's see. Yep, there's the fuel injector right there. You always gotta make sure they didn't send you a carb one by accident. So I will say that welds are, you know, what I expect for a Chinese bike, but other than that, everything else looks pretty clean. Even the swing arm looks pretty sturdy. I'll be honest, I'm a little impressed. But, you know, what else would you expect from the strongest? Kind of wild. And the seat is different. I see that now. Look at that. There's some red stitching. I was going to swap this out to a seat without any kind of branding on it or wording on it. And it comes with a luggage rack on the back. Let's get this out of here and check it out. So one thing that's mandatory when you put any of these bikes together, get some Loctite and make sure you Loctite every bolt that you put in. Just because there's vibration, and that vibration will make these bolts come out, and the last thing you want is to lose control of something because they're vibrated. This is your speedometer. It's on the front wheel and it's just zip tied up in there. You're actually going to rotate it this direction. There's a little key here, and so you're going to make sure that that key is in the right spot. And then there's two keys on the inside that go to the wheel. There's a little bit of grease there, so make sure you don't have any debris in there. And then I'm going to throw a Loctite on here, but here we have our discs in, our disc brake in. We have our speedometer, or our speed sensor down there. And then our axle goes through, the spacer goes on this side. And we have a brake assembly arm that goes here. Something I don't like about this setup is I could have sworn the rear brake, maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but I thought the rear brake was going to be a disc. In this case, it's a drum. So it kind of limits wheel options, I think. If you are buying this with the intention of modifying it, it's going to be our brake arm. And there's a cotter pin that goes on the inside with a washer. So I'm actually going to put some grease in here because I don't want to hear this make noise. And then for the back, grab these guys off. Slide this guy in here. And then I'm gonna momentarily start this, but I'm definitely gonna put some thread locker on it. But yeah, I'm gonna bolt the seat back on and start putting the side plastics on, change the oil, throw some fuel in it, and we'll see if she fires up first go. There was a lot of metal debris on this magnetic drain bolt. So I'm sure they start them. I'm sure this is like the initial break-in oil that's in it, and that's why they tell you to change the oil on the first, before you start it, I guess. And then they also say change it at 200 miles. That's pretty consistent with like a lot of break-in procedures. I just put fuel in it. Put the fuel cap back on. All right, and the first start, let's put the key in here. Everything is on. Okay, so we're gonna say start. Oh, I hear a fuel pump. I'm a little worried about this gas cap. And fired up and then died. Died again. That's not good. Believe it or not, this is the same bike. I just stripped all of the paint off of the plastics. It wasn't hard to do. I literally used a pressure washer to do it. So I pulled all the plastics off, threw them in the rocks on the side of my house, pressure washed them, and this is it. I did replace the tires because I was a little concerned about the quality of the other tires. So put some better tires on it, and this is how the bike sits right now. I did remove the Hawk DLX logo off the side there, and I added some lights down low just so nobody hits me, so they see me coming. So this is the bike now. I haven't touched the engine other than an oil change, so we're gonna take it for a ride and see how it rides. All right, time to go for a ride on this bike. You know, lots been done to it, so hopefully make it fun and reliable. So we're gonna go run errands on it, get an idea of how it is. So first things first, let's start it. Back brake is not the best, so definitely using front and back. So the acceleration is pretty surprising for a 250cc. I had no problem getting up to speed. I'd say anything up to about 65 is pretty easy. Anything beyond that, you're kind of pushing it in the 6th gear, which I was surprised that this had because it was not advertised with a 6th gear. Now there are a couple different versions of this bike, and down in the description of the video I'll put links to all of them. This is the fuel injected one, which I preferred for where I live in Colorado, just with the altitude changes and the small journeys I plan to try and take this bike on. However, visit the description of the video. You can check out the different models. There is a carb model. I believe all the models except for this one have disc brakes as well. So if that's a deal breaker for you, definitely find the disc brake version. Now the fastest I got this bike up to was 73 right here before slowing down just for safety reasons. But you know, that was partially because it was downhill. I'm a light individual, and you know, if you really need it to go that fast and you're on flat ground, you can probably do it. However, I think the sweet spot for this bike is, you know, speeds up to about 65. Cruising around town is super easy. I had no problem navigating traffic with it. It turns pretty sharply. Even when people try and pull out in front of me, I had no problems getting on the brakes and coming to a complete stop. The seat is really plush. It's super comfy, especially compared to like my DRZ, which I try and daily drive. So if comfort's your thing, I think this bike kind of has that, you know, set, especially if you throw a box on the back so you can throw, you know, gear inside of it and keep things dry. Hopefully you're enjoying the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I don't just do bikes, I do mostly cars and trucks and a lot of, you know, cool do-it-yourself type stuff. However, you know, I think this bike kind of fits in that realm of, you know, affordability and fun, something you can modify and build yourself.